Hello and welcome to the Craig Lee Lawrence Experience. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to be discussing Star Wars Visions. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and say this was a bad idea. I'm not going to sit here and say that this was, you know, this I guess I didn't see this coming. Star Wars plus anime, it just sounds fantastic. It obviously it would work. There's so many graphic novels out there, infinite amount of stories that could be told. So of course, any variation of Star Wars, the average fan would be fine with. So I wanted to do this review on both sides of the spectrum. I want to do this review. It's going to be quick. Try for the most part. Try to make it quick, episodically, and do each episode just my quick take on it. But I want to do it from a perspective of like, being a Star Wars fan. I've seen all the Star Wars films, so being a Star Wars fan, right? I've read some of the graphic novels, but then also being an anime fan. I know pretty much the premise of what anime is and mangas and all that jazz. And I do enjoy anime. I love anime. Maybe not as much as some, big anime fans and stuff, but I am a fan of anime. So when I watched this series, I watched it with the thought of, okay, I understand Star Wars lore, but also at the same time, I like anime. So let's see what they can do. Let's see how intriguing and how exciting they can make Star Wars, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So, episode one, right, the duel. Now, I'm not going to say that this episode wasn't great. I'm not going to say that this episode wasn't, fantastic because everyone saw the first episode and then thought the first episode was going to be that's how the whole show was going to be. And it really wasn't. And again, each episode is different. Each episode was done by a different studio. One or two episodes were done by the same the same studio did one or two episodes, but other than that, each episode was done by a different studio. And for the most part, yes, this episode was awesome. Yes, this episode was very cool in like the style and like the whole Japanese-esque of the of the artwork and stuff. But for the most part, like it was pretty cheesy. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have a problem with the whole you know rotating lightsaber that the chick had, the umbrella saber, but my problem was her look. Okay, she looked like the kid from Boondocks. Okay, so that was, it was just ridiculous. And then the heels, I didn't quite understand the heels. Like, why does everyone have to have these like darting heels? They just like, I don't know. But I just want to say that I understood how like he was supposed to be like a Sith killer, right? But it just didn't make any sense to me in the way that, okay, so he's like that strong to where he could take down any Sith, but like he just holds on to their crystals just cuz, like I liked how the fighting was and everything, and how the episode went down with the with just the choreography, I guess we'll say. But he killed her so quickly. So it was so lame. Like what, he's like that strong in the force where he can just kill multiple Siths. And like what, my assumption would be that, I guess, if this story continued of this lone Ronin, that he would have became like the ultimate Sith. Like he literally killed all the Siths just to be like, I'm the most powerful Sith. But I don't know, I guess he's just so laid back. He's like the Mushishi guy. He's just so laid back that he just goes around killing people. But I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the first episode was pretty interesting. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was definitely great. But when you go into the second episode, right, Tatooine Rhapsody, that was just ridiculous. Okay, that episode was too much. It was literally a kid and his band, and Jabba this guy saves him as a kid, and then what, the guy that saves him is like a criminal, so Jabba the Hutt is gonna kill him. But I guess Jabba the Hutt like really likes K-pop and K-rock, because they just start playing music and the music is so good that Jabba's like, all right, well, I guess I can't kill this guy because he's excuse me, he's in the band that I like. It made no sense. I was like, oh, okay, I guess music saves all. And they're an epic band. The whole galaxy fucking knows them. So you know what? They get a pass, but whatever. And then then we get into, of course, the meat of the trailer, which was the twins. And that was this is when I realized, okay, this is an anime. I have to remember that I am watching an anime. You know, like the last episode was pretty ridiculous with the whole band thing, but it's like, okay, so this is just in the universe of Star Wars. This could be some shit going on. But in this Twins episode, the whole like dual ship in the beginning, cheese, right? Straight cheese. The whole fact that she like didn't realize that her brother was transitioning to the good side this whole time, cheese, okay? Straight cheese. And the fact that he had to take her down by going into hyperspeed while sitting on the outside of the ship. I mean, I guess he is that strong with the Force, like he was made from the dark side of the Force, right? I get it. They were twins made from the they were somehow born of the dark side of the Force. So you're telling me that he is able to sit outside of his ship and just go through hyperspeed? Like it just made no sense. It was just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna suspend my disbelief, but come on. And then the fact that he didn't die, like if he did, like say he died, like he sacrificed himself and became one with the Force, like a spirit of the Force, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe there are spirits in the Force. The Force does have like human spirit, you know, parts of it, something, you know, but no, like he, and then she could have been like, oh, you know, oh no, now I'm good or whatever, because, you know, he hit her heart, but which was where the crystal was. Like, it just was too much. It was so much. I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna suspend the gap, but at the same time, this is too much, right? And then when, you know, he survives on the planet, and then it's like a new hope, like he's like, oh man, I hope she's all right, she's somewhere out there, because they don't know where the fuck they ended up. It was ridiculous. Like, you're telling me you're that strong with the Force, but you don't know, you know, you don't know where you're at, or it's just, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on forward. I mean, like I said, it was cool. It was very cool, but maybe if this was made like years ago, this Twins episode would have been awesome. But since it's like fresh, it's like I don't need to see this. But so then, now the episode after is really no better, right? The Village Bride was. It was fun. It was, you know, again, the artwork wasn't bad. It was cool, but for the most part, you know, there's nothing like really engaging about the episode, right? And she had the same heels. I don't know what's up with those heels, but it always comes down to those fucking speedy heels. And I know that for anime, like everyone's like darting and dashing, but like, you know, in Star Wars, you don't have to like dart and dash, I guess, technically. Like, you have the Force, you just are good, but it's like anime, so it's like, oh, of course they can dash, of course they can dart, of course they can do all these things, because that's what happens in anime. So if you don't put that in an anime that you're making where it's that easy to do something like that, of course people are going to be like, this is so shit, this is so cheesy, you know. But anyway, that episode was pretty lame. The Village Bride, it was like it was like a wave, literally. Like, you know, you had the Duel, then it was, you know, then it went down with the Rhapsody, Tatooine, you know, and then it went up with the Twins, because you were like, oh, this was the trailer, but the whole trailer pretty much showed that episode. So you saw all of it, so it kind of went back down. And the Village Bride, she was in the trailer, but I thought it was going to be so much better. I don't know why. I just thought she was going to have some more fighting or something epic would happen, but she was just like, nah, I'm not going to let the Empire take over this fucking village. Like, it was just like, all right, girl, yeah, you're right. They did it before. They'll do it again. You need to stop them, you know? So it's just kind of like, whatever. But, then it goes up again, you know. Then we had episode 5, the Ninth Jedi, and of course this episode everyone talked about because it was so great and everything, which it was, but I'm just gonna say again, so anime. Like, you're gonna tell me that in the first episode, right, the Duel, you know, he killed all those Siths, so he kept all of their crystals, right? So why is it that in this episode, I guess the crystals just change colors? Like, this lightsaber smith is so strong in the Force or in lightsaber building that he can make a lightsaber change to fit the person's, like, I don't know, fucking soul. What does he say? Like, you're gonna take, you know, whoever uses the lightsaber, like, it's the color and length of them, like, of what they're how strong they are in the Force. Like, it was like, what? And then she uses it, his daughter, and of course it becomes this big black saber. Like, she's got the BS, you know, big saber energy, BSE, you know, like, what the hell? And then he's like, huh, interesting. Anyway. Oh man, sorry. I'm doing some unnecessary coughing in this video. The giggles. Man. Anyway, yeah, it was just like really, really okay. And then, you know, it starts off with all these supposed Jedi in this temple, and this robot shows up like, oh, I wanted y'all to come so I can, like, call upon this like it's like Sith Lord, or like maybe he's not. I don't think he was the Sith Lord, but like some like Lord who wanted to bring back the Jedi or something. And then it turns out like he was the Jedi in the robot. Like it was like some like Gundam shit where he's like, you know, or like he's in the robot suit. And then it turns out they're not Jedi, they're Sith. So they all were like, oh, we all like we tricked the Jedi, like because there's no Jedi. Like a lot of these episodes took place like hundreds of years after like Return of the Jedi and stuff, and like, you know, after whatever the fucking prequel, the sequel trilogy was, but it's just later. So like there's no more Jedi and like all this shit, like, you know, so it's just supposed to be like, you know, I don't know, like people are just trying to find their way in the Force, you know. It's just like, all right. And then of course, you know, they come to attack the lightsaber Smith, and she's the one that has to get the sabers back, and then she ends up having the Force, and she's really strong in the Force, and it's just like so anime, you know, like, oh man. But yeah, the whole big saber part, and then how all the guys grab the sabers and they all turn into Sith sabers. So it's like, oh, I guess y'all were Siths. It would have been cooler to have just normal lightsabers and then everyone just battling it out, not knowing who's who, you know. But now we gotta know that they're all bad. But whatever. So again, it was a cool episode. And I understand why everyone liked it, but I did not like the whole lore change of like, oh, I'm such a good sabersmith that my saber can tell if you're good or bad. It's like, all right, I guess. The one guy grabs it and it's purple, and he's like, I know, I'm sorry. It's like, fuck, really? Like, oh man. But all right. So after we had 2B1, right? So 2B1. I don't even know what to say about this one, episode 6. Like, really? Like, okay, I get it. He was a Jedi that made a robot, so the robot was more humanistic. It was like a Pinocchio bot. But, like, man, you're telling me this fool created a robot that could not only feel the Force, but could actually, like, literally feel the Force? Like, it's like, I know he had, like, a humanistic face to give you feeling for the character, but, like, come on, he was supposed to be a robot. He was literally, like, the iRobot robot. Like, with Will Smith, he was the iRobot robot, because it was a robot, but with a face that had, like, a human face, like, and lips, and it fucking that was human. It was, like, a feel. It was like, what? All right, and then, of course, the kyber crystal would, like, be in his heart the whole fucking time, and then, of course, the one Sith anywhere in proximity to this fool, when he turns on the ship and he's like, oh my god, look at this ship, like the only Sith happens to be a robotic Sith. Like, it's like, come on, really, like Vader, but full robot, like not even like so it's not Vader, like really, come on. In the twins, their outfits, which pretty much mimicked, you know, Vader in like a weird alien form, so cheese, totally anime, like, oh, I guess, you know. But again, just could not believe that that's how I just couldn't believe that they made a robot that could feel the Force. It was just like, I mean, I guess anyone can feel the Force. You're right. You're very right. And I think that all the small little robots were cute, but maybe he shouldn't have just became so strong. Maybe he should have, like, I don't know, maybe the crystal never would have came, and it came at like the end, and he was able to kill the robot with like the power of machinery and technology. That would have been cool. But like, you know, they just kind of blew it up with like, oh, the crystal was in his chest. Oh, he was able to use a lightsaber. Oh, he can fight and like has been training, though he hasn't really been training. He was like, the whole episode was kyber crystal searching, but now he can just fight like a badass. Like, nah, wasn't having it. Just wasn't having it. It was so much cheese, and you know, it is what it is. And then episode 7, right? Everyone was loving episode 7. The Elder. Oh, The Elder was a pretty cool episode, I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the best episode. Like, next to the first episode, this one was the best episode. You know, just a Jedi and his Padawan traveling, sensing something in the Force, landing on a planet, being like, what's up with this planet? They say that this guy landed here, and then the fight happens. Now, the only thing I will say is I thought it was kind of funny that he didn't kill the Padawan, right? He only wounded him, of course, to bring the Master. Made sense. But then when the Master comes and they have their duel, which is cool, and he has this, and then he reveals, well, the Master like destroys his lightsaber, and he gets all angry. So I guess he has to get really mad to use his special Force power, right? He has that electric lightning. So I don't know, I guess it was cool, but at the same time, it's like, so you're telling me that this guy has to literally get mad to use this power that he was like waiting to share with someone and to kill someone with, right? Like, he was like, I've been waiting for someone, an opponent, you know, and I wanted to fight them for whatever fucking reason. But then this guy literally has to have one of his sabers destroyed to then have a free hand to then be like, I'm gonna use this power, but then was still overpowered. Like, it's just like, because he was old, so it's like he should have known that, I guess. Right when the Jedi should have came, he should have been like, drop both lightsabers or just put them away, both hands at the ready, boom, full force power lightning or whatever. He probably could have killed the fool, but nah, he just had to like toy with them or whatever and like lose a bit of energy and a little bit of, he just got a little winded. That's all. He's a fucking old guy. The episode's called The Elder. But again, I'm not gonna like sit here and say that like the Force shouldn't have been able to make him strong, because it should have. The Force, like, if you guys want to play with the Force so heavy in all these episodes, I don't understand why they couldn't just make, the Force be strong enough to make him fucking strong. Like, he's old, but he can still fight like a 15-year-old. Like, they can just make it happen. Just make the Force be like that. Yoda did flips and shit. Why can't he? But yeah, so I mean, it was a great episode. I did like it, but I just had that gripe where it's like, come on, you could have did that. So then we get into episode 8, Lop and Ocha, right? And Lop and Ocha. In the trailer, I totally thought this was I knew it was gonna be like some character, right? But when I saw that it was the bunny chick, yeah, she's cute, and I thought it was great. I thought it was a very cool way of like, showing a other humanoid like styled character out in the world of Star Wars. Super cute, obviously. It kind of reminded me of like Zootopia. She would totally fit in Zootopia, like some cat bunny, totally fine. I totally thought though like it was gonna be about her and like her little droid, and her little droid was pretty sick. So I would say like I definitely liked this episode. Like, the last 3 episodes were where it was at. The first episode was cool, but it kind of made me question like the power and the morals of the Ronin. Like, who is he exactly? But the last 3 episodes were really like, okay, like I guess this could work. It's just, again, it's anime, so they have to go over the top. They have to make it ridiculous. Whereas like if it was a little more pulled back, it would have worked. It would have worked if it was just a little bit more pulled back. But so for Lop and Ocha, it's about Imperial rule again over a planet. The Imperial rule comes and they're like, we're gonna make you great. We're gonna make this civilization great, because they're like, struggling. Then it turns out not to be great. They fucking enslave people. They're like, they're the fucking Imperial Army. They're gonna come and destroy everything, the Galactic Empire. So it's like, it's just funny because as someone watching, like, oh, this is totally not gonna go well, and then it doesn't. But so Lop is like this again cat bunny girl, and she gets saved by this guy and her daughter, this merchant or whatever, this warehouse owner, and it just fast forwards to later in life, like, just in when she's adopted by this family. The little girl's like, oh, we're gonna be a family and everything, and then it turns out like, well, yeah, we're gonna be a family, but things will happen. So it fast forwards. There's no, again, these are short episodes, they're episodic, so yeah, I would have liked to see like an actual story of this character. Like, I would actually watch an anime about Lop. Yes, I would. And because I would like to know how she grew up, how she became who she was, how she, what she lived by, her code, her morals, whatever her personality was. But it's just like fast forward to the future, and of course she's like, this good person. She's, she was raised wrong, or she was raised wrong. Okay, well, not wrong, like she wasn't raised like the wrong way, but yeah, she was, her as a child, she was adopted by this family, so prior to, she was enslaved, so it just sucked, but I mean, I don't know, I guess she was raised in slavery, and then she was adopted by this family. But so pretty much the father realized, her adopted father realizes that the, Imperial Army is garbage, and that, like, fuck their rule, which is like, of course, what we knew as an audience member, right? Like, of course, these guys are horrible. The Imperial Army will never, help them and all that shit. Like, it's only going to lead to bad stuff, but sure, it helps with, like, helping the prosperity and stuff, as the Empire would say. But it's just funny that the daughter becomes like obsessed with the Empire. Like, I want to know how and why his daughter, the merchant's daughter, becomes obsessed. And like, they were like, they're not blood sisters now that they're like, that she was adopted, but it's like, they were sisters. So what happened, or what did she see or hear that made her think that everything that was happening was a good thing? Because she went like full evil, like Ocho, who is the other, Lope and Osha. Oh, I said Osha, it's Ocha. I think it's Ocha, Ochoa, Ocha. they are the, the good and evil, good and bad. But it's just like, how did she become bad? Like, what, did her father literally not love her enough? Did she become friends with some stormtroopers in her teens? Like, was she hanging around with the wrong gang? Did she have some goth Sith friends? Like, why did she become so evil? Like, I would love to know why she became so evil. And it's just funny because she ends up, having this like Bruce Lee style try nunchucked Sith blade thing. And it's like, how did she learn how to use this? Like, she literally, when she cuts her hair off to leave, it's like, is there another time gap of like a year before Lop is given that lightsaber? Like, it was so like, it was such a stretch. Like, they stretched the story out so much to be like, okay, this is the story, but see all these plot holes that are opening up? Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. It happened. What you need to know is it happened. But that's what I'm saying. So looking at it from a Star Wars perspective, you're like, there's got to be some type of buildup. There's got to be some type of reason. Yeah, like the Imperial Army was like helping, but it's like you realize that like your sister, your adopted sister, was a slave to the Empire. So why are you not like, I don't want other people being enslaved by the Empire? Like, why did she go so hard for the Empire? And then she's like so bratty. Like, it was just like, come on, like, come on, come on. I didn't believe it one bit. I just didn't believe it. It was the episode. If it would have maybe been a 3, 4, 5 episode series that had more context, you would have been able to feel for the characters more. But it was just like, why is she being a bitch? Like, that's all I could think about. It was just like, you don't understand, Ochoa. You don't understand. The Empire is fucked up. They're literally making you try to kill your own sister. And then, of course, at the end, she like gives her the slash. She gives her the X slash across the chest, and it's just like, of course, she's gonna be one of those Siths that has scars now, and she's gonna be all powerful because she has scars, and she's scarred. So she's forever a Sith now. It was so over the top, It was just, again, that's what it was. This was over the top. The fact that they made it anime just made it so over the top. It was just like, okay, I get it, but I need more context, for storytelling and for everything that Star Wars has been through. Yeah, this can be flashy and like fun to watch, but like, what, you're gonna create fan bases for each of these episodes just to capitalize on these specific episodes and then try to make animes over them? Like, it's like, all right, Lucasfilm, I see your avenue. I see you. If you need a marketing director, I got you. Like, or a marketing consultant, I got you. I understand what you guys are trying to do, but so anyway, I don't know, Lop. Why so evil? Why is so evil? And then the last episode 9, Akakiri. And this is the episode that everyone was like, this is true Star Wars. This is what the lore is all about. And it's like, remember, you come into these episodes knowing about the lore of Star Wars. Each episode is just so whack. I mean, Tatooine Rhapsody, you're going to tell me Jabba the Hutt is that not... He's as ruthless as he is. Oh, and I love the baby Fett, by the way, the baby Boba Fett. But you're gonna tell me that Jabba the Hutt, that Jabba the Hutt will let someone off the hook of an execution on their execution day because the music that they play is so good, and because he didn't realize that the member of that person he was going to execute is in that band. Because obviously he had to have known. There's no way he could not have known. But I guess then he heard the music again live and he was like, ah. So it's like, come on, guys. So Akakiri follows a Jedi who turns to the dark side because of love. And, he does the whole Anakin. He does the whole Vader thing. But I don't know, like, I guess the animation was all right. Like, it was cool, the dashing and stuff, and but then he has like these like, there's only like 2 lightsaber fights in the whole episode. Like, so it's not like there's a lot of stuff that's really happening where you'd be like, man, this animation is so great, But he has these like visions of someone, like someone, a person, it seems, and a shape. And then it turns out that vision is actually this woman that he struck down in his accidental, rage. Because I guess it was rage. He was already halfway to the dark side, I guess it seems. But So he's pretty much going to fight this Sith guy, or he's trying to find this Sith, and his master says like, oh, just beware of this guy because he can taunt you to the dark side, and if you go over to the dark side, I cannot help you, like the force is only so strong, blah blah blah, the dark side is stronger. So he's fighting all these people, these like, I don't know, desert wasteland people, and he has the vision, and he like passes out, and this woman saves him, and she's like, oh, I'm part of the clan of these people that are being overrun by this Sith that you're trying to find or whatever. And so he travels with her, and it's like, again, another time gap. Like all these episodes, since they're episodic, each episode is different. They're like time gaps, because you're like, how long were these people actually out and about? Because they're traveling to this place, and I guess he falls in love with her in this long ass bit of time that they're together, because they're with these other two guys, these like Albert and Costello like fuckers that like fucking do, excuse my language, these guys that are just like taking them, he's taking them through taking them on the path to the place or whatever, right? They're like their guide or whatever, they're paying them. And super cheesy like banter. It's just like, the traveling, like we're on a journey and it's scary and we gotta be protected. Oh, there's a Jedi with us. And like, I just gotta say, I understand the whole Ronin thing of like pulling the saber out all slow and like having a sheath for it and shit. But the one thing about lightsabers I don't understand about the whole sheath concept is that would have to mean that the sheath is so much stronger than the actual lightsaber, right? Because the sheath has to be able to contain the blade in it. So if you're able to pull the blade out slowly, you would technically be able to like use that sheath to block hits, right? Because the saber is being concealed in the sheath. There's no way that you can use the Force. I guess you could, because it's an anime and the Force is boundless, but that you're using the Force to literally contain the blade. Like, you always have to make sure, because the blade could just come out and like fucking cut your ass in half, So it didn't really make any sense when he's like sheathing the blade and he's unsheathing the blade and it's like a hiltless blade. It's like, bro, like, I get that you're that good, and then I guess you can hold the blade literally right near the blade. You can hold the handle right on the edge of the hilt and look all badass, but it's like, theoretically and hypothetically, in the world of Star Wars, that shouldn't be able to happen. I don't know. It just shouldn't have been able to happen. It was like baby Boba Fett in the Rhapsody. It's just so cute. He shouldn't have been able to be so cute. It was like, this episode's gonna end on a good note. When they have Baby Fett, it's not gonna end with Baby Fett getting eaten by the Sarlacc, and it's definitely not gonna end with Baby Fett shooting somebody. Or at least killing somebody. He shot at them, but he didn't kill him. But I'm getting off this episode. But so he goes, they get to the temple or whatever, and they're there, and the fucking evil Sith guy's like, there you are, you're here, you came to see me, I knew you would, I'm gonna make you my Padawan. And he's like, the hell you are? And then he like goes into like rage mode, because like, he fights the Sith, and the Sith knows how to speak rhyme and rhythm and fucking gets words in his head, and the Jedi guy's like, no, my brain and my thoughts are turning dark. And so he goes and he kills like all the Sith guy's henchmen, but the Sith guy kidnaps the girl, right? The girl that he was with beforehand. So he puts like one of the helmets on the girl, the bad guy helmets on the girl, and has him strike her down. Like he doesn't realize that it was her. So it's like, oh no, you killed your girl that you were with for like maybe 3 days, like literally 3-4 days. Maybe a year you were with this girl, because they don't say, but it's like, it couldn't have been that fucking long. But he falls in love with her head over heels. He realizes he killed her, and the Sith guy's like, hey, I could bring her back for you. We could bring her back for you with the power of the dark side. So the Jedi is like, all right, like he does the Anakin, all right, like, she's dead, but I want her to be alive, or it's all for her type bullshit, And it's just, he just brings her to life, and the Sith and him bring her to life. She wakes up, and then he just stands up, and he's like, I'm a Sith now. I gave it up for you, just remember it was for you. It's just like, damn, bruh, that's cold. But yeah, so it's like, and then that was it. So it's like, again, there's the last 3 episodes, yes, they followed. Yes, they were like, all right, they were deep and like emotional and like impactful, and like why, and then dealing with the Empire, and it was what an anime would be, but it was also what Star Wars was, but it's like, at the same time, that's not what these are going to be. These are going to be one-offs. That's it. If they go the route of making a series based on one of these episodes, fine. I called it. They'd be so easy because whichever one has the bigger fandom, boom, 7 episode anime on Crunchyroll or whatever. But it's like, you know, that's where Star Wars is now. That's literally where it's come to, where they can't even make good films. They're like, all right, we can jump into anime. Comics and cartoons and DC and Marvel are going through their own bullshit right now with all their shit. So why don't we just jump on an anime because people love anime, and, it's Star Wars was based off of Japanese, samurai lore and stuff, but it's like, really, like, for real, like, I mean, I guess, as a fan of both, I guess, but I would like to see some good Star Wars shows that are just actually Star Wars related. I would also like to see some good Star Wars movies that are actually, like, good. After the sequel trash, The Mandalorian was cool. Like, let's see what the Ashoka show has to show or whatever. The Bad Batch, I heard, was kind of lame because it was pretty much Clone Wars, and we had years of that. We had multiple seasons of that, and they did a fantastic job. And it's like, that's what we need. We just need another show, one show that encapsulates maybe Jedis or Siths or something in the old Republic or new. But we don't need all these multiple shows coming out trying to, like, hook multiple different people, because then we have stuff like this where we're like, yeah, we like it, but what are you going to do? Like, literally, what are you going to do? You're going to watch it, or you're going to watch one episode because you like the one episode, and then if they never come back to it and you never come back to Star Wars, I guess Star Wars kind of failed on keeping their fan base together, But I don't know. So check it out, Star Wars Visions. It was cool. It was fun to watch, definitely, but I don't know, on a Star Wars, on the perspective of, like, Star Wars lore, it was all over the place. As an animation perspective, it was fantastic. All of the episodes are great. There were 9, 10s, 10, 8, 9s out of 8, 9, 10 out of 10s. All of them. There were. I mean, I guess the village one was definitely, like, that was not the best one. Like, the Village Bride episode 3 or 4, episode 4, the Village Bride was definitely, like, it was whatever. But other than that, all the episodes were pretty cool. But yeah, so check it out, Star Wars Visions. It's on Disney Plus, so if you got Disney Plus, check it out. If not, it's somewhere on the internet. This has been the Craig Lawrence Experience. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, may the force be with y'all. And, try to stay on the light side of the force. But I mean, I like Siths, so I'm not gonna, I guess I can't say that. Or I'd probably be a gray Jedi, because I wouldn't, the Sith are so cool. Damn it. Over here sprouting violence and evil. Yeah. All right. May the force be with you.